All right, so let's start sitting up on our pillows or blankets. Up on the pillow or blanket. Getting your hips up higher than your knees, cross your legs if you're comfortable with your legs crossed. And let's just feel ourselves sitting. Pay attention to yourself sitting on the floor, on the earth, however you want to think about it, on your mat, in your sacred space, the sacred space you defined on the floor here for yourself. We feel ourselves sitting, and then we're going to feel ourselves sitting up taller and lengthening up through the crown of our head, drawing the ears back over the shoulders, lifting and opening through the heart center, relaxing shoulders and letting your arms be heavy. Loosen your jaw. And before trying to deepen your breath at all, just feel your breath moving through your body. So we kind of take in the whole package here of our body sitting on the floor and us being completely present in it, and just observing the breath that's moving through it, that gentle little wave of breath. We notice how we feel this morning. So sometimes when I'm sitting here, I feel like one of my shoulders is higher than the other. So see if you can notice things like that in places where you're holding a little tension, and maybe let go of that right now before we start to move and do anything. Just kind of be aware of where you're holding your tension. And then after we've made those observations, that's just body awareness. That's pure body awareness, being in your body. We start to notice the breath and deepen the breath as we put our awareness on it, breath awareness. So deepening the breath, drawing it to the belly, the ribs, the chest. I feel like when I'm breathing, it becomes more subtle as I move the breath up, where I can hardly feel any movement up here anymore. So make some of those observations. I notice that I pay attention to my breath more in the front of my body. So I like to practice paying attention to my breath in the back side of my body. And I like to, this is the hardest place for me, I like to notice where my breath goes in the sides of my body. And then take the breath into the whole torso. For those of you who just signed in, we're going to kind of focus on the torso today a little bit. So feel the whole torso expanding and contracting as we breathe in and as we breathe out. Again, the wave, but it's more like this vortex of a wave as we breathe throughout the entire torso with our awareness. We were doing it all along anyway, but now we've got our awareness on it. And it feels differently when you put your awareness on it. We notice when the mind moves into thought, and we notice what those thoughts are. And then without judging ourselves, we move ourselves back to the breath, back to the body. That's all part of the observation. And then we'll create an intention for our practice. And we'll breathe that into this awareness of body and breath. And then we'll let it go. Now let's start moving. Since we're going to focus on this part of the body, let's start a subtle movement of just rocking the rib cage side to side. So letting your rib cage float a little bit over to the left and then a little bit over to the right. So obviously your shoulders go. I mean, this is a package deal here, your whole torso. But see if you can make most of the movement happen in the rib cage and also originate there. Let that be the source of the movement. And then let's do the same thing forward and back. So it's almost like we're doing a little teeny tiny cat-cow. Teeny tiny. So we're pushing the ribs forward and we're pushing the ribs back. That rib cage of yours takes up a great deal of territory. Starts way up high, right? Okay, and then let's notice how much our jaw has helped us do that and relax our jaw. Let's circle the tip of the nose so we can relax the neck. We'll circle back the other way. And then bring the head right back to the center. Let's lift one shoulder, roll it back. The other shoulder rolls, alternating shoulder circles. Gets a little bit of movement here in the ribs and the shoulder girdle. Trains our brain to think about these shoulder rolls a little differently. And then both shoulders at the same time. We've already got that neural pathway well formed, I'm sure. And then we'll play the piano and circle the wrists. Circle back. Let's reach it. Let's reach one arm. Loose hand, pull it down with a fist. Oh, that feels good the first time to get your arms up over your head, doesn't it? Oh, man. Up we go, down we come. Now let's make this a little bit bigger and let's just let the left hand come down to the floor and we'll come into our first little lateral bend. Push your hips back towards your pillow. And then let's make a tiny little movement of bringing the right shoulder back just a touch. So it's like we're opening up our heart to the sky a little bit more and bringing the arm back just a tad bit. This does not have to be a big movement. And then we're going to release that stretch. Go to the other side. We'll go right on over to the other side. So that nice stretch, I'm using my right hand to push you can even see that little subtle movement right back into my sitting bones. And then let's make that tiny little movement of lifting the heart towards the sky by drawing the left shoulder back just a teeny tiny bit. Take another breath. And then we're going to release that stretch and come all the way back up. Let's change the cross of our legs since we've been sitting here for about 10 minutes now. I hope you realize that the longer we practice sitting, the easier sitting becomes. At least I hope that's the case for you. Let's do a circle. Yoga practice used to be all about practicing sitting, so you could sit for a long time and meditate, get into that cosmic consciousness, that field of pure awareness. So this was all just a warm up for that. We're going to circle back the other way. And then let's come all the way back up and let's do a bigger cat-cow from here. So hands on your lap, on your knees, take a breath. And as we exhale, we're going to press out through shoulder blades and drop the chin down. And then as we inhale, we'll go the other way. So making these movements bigger than we did before. And following the flow of the breath, the pace that the breath sets for you. And we're going to take one more breath in, one more breath out. And then come back up. Let's move off of our blanket. Let's bring the soles of our feet to the floor. And we're going to drop our knees side to side. So you're leaning back on your hands. Knees are going side to side. And then let's straighten out our legs. We can keep our hands behind us, leaning on our hands here, and let's point and flex our feet. So we'll keep this pretty gentle, point and flex, warming us up for those exercises we'll do later for our feet. Let's circle our ankles around. And the other way. And then let's do a little rowing here to take us into the abdominals a little bit and also to our hamstrings, trying to warm up our legs for some of the things we're going to do a little bit later. So we're going to take hold of our oar and we'll take a breath here. Exhale. You're bringing your oar out into the water and then you're going to row and come back. So exhaling as you're forward over your legs. Remember, we're hinging at the hip creases, inhaling as we row. This does not have to be big. You can bend your knees if this is excruciating for you. I realize we're not sitting on our blankets anymore. Just begin to feel your abdominals saying hello, or you're saying hello to your abdominals. Beginning to have a conversation. Let's put it that way. Beginning that conversation. Let's do one more. And then we'll come right back to upright. We're going to come to squat. I want to definitely move us through squat today. So if you can push yourself to your squat, do that. If you can't, then you're going to get there, something more like that. We're going to bring our toes out. Remember, the trick for squat is to turn your toes out and have your feet wide. If you're still balancing on your toes, you could try putting your blanket or your pillow underneath your heels. It's like a miracle has just occurred when you do that, because then you have full contact with the floor, essentially. You're bringing the floor up to your heels, and it'll help you balance better and feel like you're not teetering there in squat pose. I really like that little trick. We're going to stay here for just one more breath. And then for those of you who would like to try this, we're going to do a crow walk by bringing our hands to our knees. If you don't want to try this, stay in squat. Some of you might already be standing up if squatting is tough for you. We're just going to do a little walk, a few steps. I'm going to turn around and walk back to my mat. This is called crow walking. It is kind of how crows walk, isn't it? That little kind of laborious walk that they do. And here we are. Good for your feet, good for your ankles. Let's stand up, squat and rise. And here we are. Okay, one of the things for plantar fasciitis that I have learned along the way is that standing up as if you have high heels on can be helpful, coupled with this other stretch that I'll show you, very simple one we do all the time. So we'll stand on our toes and let this be our first balance. If this is hard for you because your feet hurt a lot, then just lift up to the ball of one foot and then put that foot down and lift up to the ball of the other foot. And don't put a lot of weight on it. We find our gaze point. We take another breath. And then let's come down and shake it out. Shake it out. Let's do our half salutes here before we do any more balancing. Take your hands to your heart. Inhale. Arms are up. Exhale. Fold it over. Lift part way up and take your breath. And then fold. Let's come up. Big arms reaching. And exhale your hands to your heart. We'll inhale and reach for the sun like you're honoring the sun, which we are. Exhale, fold. Come part way up, breathe. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, arms reaching up. Exhale, folding them. Dropping down, hanging your head, and then lengthening your spine with a breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, let's reach it up. And exhale your hands to your heart. Let's do one quiet one. And then let's release. I'm going to do a standing twist, a twist from the standing position. So we're going to keep our feet glued to the floor. We're going to bring our arms out to T. We're going to keep our knees a little bit soft because this is going to target our torso a little bit here. We're going to take a breath in, and as we exhale, we're going to twist to the right and let your head turn to the right. Look over your right arm. Inhale back through the middle. And exhale, let's twist to the left. Let's do it again. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's inhale. This is the last one. And exhale. We'll inhale through the middle and float the arms down. All right. Let's do, this pose is called Bakasana or crane pose. This is a balancing posture we have not done yet during COVID because it just came right back to my mind when I saw the heron outside today. So I was like, oh, I haven't done that balancing posture. So this is a fun one. Let me turn sideways so you can see what we're going to do. We're going to stand on the right foot and we're going to bring the left toe behind us. So we'll start like that. And then we're going to hinge from the hip crease. And as I hinge, I'm going to start to lift up my left leg. So it's almost like warrior three. But instead of coming parallel to the floor, I'm going to come all the way down to the floor and lift my leg up behind. Flex your foot. Now, what makes this, obviously you're standing on one leg, but you've got the help of your hands. So you have a little tripod here. To make this more challenging for yourself, you're going to take either one hand or two and hold on to your ankle. So that's when this becomes a little bit more of a challenge. Stare at your big toe. That's your gaze point. And then we'll put our hands back on the floor. Let's put the leg down. We'll bend the knees and we'll unhinge. I hope some of you are laughing. I hope some of you are groaning. I hope some of you said, yay, that's something fun. Okay, we've got all kinds of emotions going on out there, I'm sure. Let's do it again on the other side. So we're going to stand on the left foot, bring your right big toe there. right behind you. You know where we're headed. We're going to hinge from the hip creases, just like we always do when we're folding forward. When and if I feel like it's safe to lift my foot off the floor, I'm going to do that and bring my hands down. Then I'm going to think about my right leg. I'm going to adjust that so my toes feel like they're pressing in toward the midline. And then I'm going to challenge myself, maybe, by taking hold. Woo! This side is harder for me, of my ankle. Let's breathe. How many of us forgot to breathe? Put our hands back down, foot comes down. Let's bend the knees and unhinge. Okay, so that's crane pose, crane pose. Let's move back into some familiar territory. Let's do stork pose, and we'll turn it into a flamingo. I'm really feeling birdy today. All right, so we're going to shift over to the right foot. Left leg is going to come here, so the thigh is parallel to the floor. If you're not comfortable with that, keep your big toe on the floor. Hold on to something. We'll bring the arms next to the ears. Find your gaze point. Keep your jaw soft. Keep your breath flowing. And then if you want to move into flamingo with me and flap your beautiful pink wings, here we go. Taking off. And then let's release. Woo! Oh, do a shake. Shake out your feathers. Mm. All right, let's go to the other side. We're on our left foot. We're lifting our thigh, then our arms. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. And then if you'd like to move into the more dynamic way of holding this posture, here we go. Challenging ourselves, challenging our balance. And then let's release. Let's do a shake. And we're going to move towards the front of the mat. So towards the front of your short side of your mat. Here's the other exercise for plantar fasciitis. It's basically just a stretch for the bottom of your foot. I call it lunge warrior. So we're going to take the right foot back and leave the heel off the floor. We're going to bend the front knee, knee over ankle. All I can see is my big toe. You can leave your hands here, or you can bring them here. So for those of us who don't have feet that hurt, we're concentrating on that stretch in the hip flexors, in the front of the right thigh, dropping the tail down. You can adjust that by how you move your pelvis around here. So if you tip the top of your pelvis back, you're going to feel more of a stretch. If you'd like to lift your arms, feel free. If you'd rather just leave them here and concentrate on the stretch, feel free. Straighten your back leg. Feel like the back of your kneecap is moving towards the back wall. I'm going to take 2 more breaths here. And then we'll step forward and step back with the left foot. So heel off the floor. That's going to give us the stretch for the bottom of the foot. We're bending the right knee, knee over ankle. All I can see is my big toe. You're deciding the position of your pelvis. You're deciding the position of your arms. You can even make this more of a back bend if you want. Of course, we're challenging our balance too all the while. Straight left leg. Breathing. And then let's step it forward. All right, those two, up on the balls of the feet and then stretching the bottoms of the feet, those are strengthening, stretching postures for the fascia, plantar fascia on the bottom of your foot. And then the ice is helpful as well. It's a tough one. That's a tough one. So I wish you well, and it will go away. I promise you. All right, let's hinge from the hip creases. We're taking ourselves to downward facing dog. We're going to do our walk in dog. This should also feel pretty good for the bottoms of your feet. And then we're going to drop our feet down. If you can get your heels down, get your heels down. Let's do a little balance here in downward facing dog, a little rotation, little balance. I'm going to walk my hands a little bit closer to my feet by about a half a hand length. And then I'm going to take my right hand off the floor and reach for the outside of my left ankle. So this is going to take me into my torso a little bit. Little rotation through the torso. If you don't like the way this feels, then keep both hands on the floor. We're looking up past our left arm, underneath past the armpit. And then let's release. And we're going to go to the other side. So I'm going to take my left hand off the floor, reach for the outside of my right leg, look up past my right armpit. So if you can get the outside of your ankle, that gives you a little something to pull on to give yourself a little bit more of a rotation here. Trying to get us into our hamstrings too. And then let's release. We're going to bend the knees, sit back on your heels, and enjoy a little rest. And then let's walk the hands off the left side of the mat. So we're coming to a nice little lateral bend here with the hips rocking to the right. And then we're going to walk through the middle and off the right side of the mat. And my hips are rocking just a tad bit to the left. And then let's walk back to the middle. And we're going to come up. Let's come up here. Come up to our knees. We'll bring our hands to the lower back. Fingers are pointing to the floor. And we're just going to lean back into a little camel. I'm just doing a teeny tiny little back bend here. I'm not doing anything major, just opening up the front part of my torso a little bit. And then let's release that stretch. We'll sit back down, but we're going to bring the left leg forward and leave the right leg here where it is. Let's take the stretch for the quad here. So I'm going to bend my left leg. I'm on the top of my right foot, and I'm sitting inside my foot. If that is absolutely impossible for you, because we're trying to stretch the quad, you're going to come down on your left arm and bring your left or right foot behind you like this. Okay, so those are the choices. The rest of us are coming here, and maybe you're going further. Some of you I know can get quite far in this position. So to your forearms, to your back, to something underneath your back like a pillow, and we're going to hang out here for a couple breaths. And then let's move to the other side. So we'll release from wherever you are. We'll free both legs. Usually the ankle is pretty happy about its newfound freedom from that position. So we're going to circle our ankles around, apologize, say it's for your own good. All right. And then we're going to the other side. So the left leg is coming back here. So I'm on the top of my foot, bending my right foot. So hopefully you notice what this does for us by doing one leg at a time. It shifts you over and takes some of the pressure off your knee. So people who can't access the full posture here can often access the posture from here and just do it one side at a time. So we lean back. Here's number one priority, those big left quadriceps. So we'll take a few breaths here. And then we're going to come back from wherever we are and let's free our legs again. Apologize to the other ankle. Do some circles. And then the other way. And then we're going to move to heron pose. So I am going to suggest that you use a strap for this. I am also going to suggest that you might find that you need to sit on a blanket or a pillow. We're going to bring our leg back to that first position. Okay, so here I am, just like when we were going backwards, but now I'm sitting on my pillow, my blanket. I'm going to take my strap and I'm going to wrap it around this leg and straighten it. Now, if you want to put your hand down on the floor, go ahead. If you can get both of your hands around your foot without your strap, feel free to do that. If you need to keep your knee a little bit bent, feel free to do that. If this is not a comfortable position for you, be here instead. See if you can get that leg straightened out or a little bit soft. And you have become a beautiful blue heron. Let's take another breath. And then we'll release and we'll go to the other side. So I'm going to have my foot back there this time. So the left leg is behind us. That's why we did that stretch before, to get our little ankle ready for this. If you're using a strap, put your strap around the ball of your foot. I'm keeping my mountain pose best I can, alignment through my torso. I'm holding onto my foot with the strap or with my hands. We're breathing, enjoying this ride into unknown territory, building new neural pathways in our brain. And then let's release. Pushing into the limits of our comfort zone, maybe a little bit with some of those postures today. That's where we grow, when we move into those places that are a little bit uncomfortable. I like uncomfortable without dangerous. That's what I like. Let's circle. And then we'll circle back. So I'm still sitting on my blanket. I'm going to stay on it. And then we'll come all the way back up. We're going to take the hands to the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, let's twist to the right. So a nice seated twist, long spine. Let your head turn. Let your jaw soften. Let your mind stay present. Where am I now? What am I doing now? And then let's unwind with a big breath. Let's take another big breath in. Doesn't it feel good sometimes just to sit and breathe? Let go of anything you need to still let go of. Let's take one more big breath. And what can you let go of? And then we'll bring our fingers to the floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, we're doing that same twist to the left, right hand to the knee, left hand to the floor or your pillow, blanket. Turn and look. The next time you breathe in, let's let this go. Let's come back around with that big breath. Let that breath go. And then let's bring our fingertips to the floor again. Let's do 3 sun breaths. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, float them down. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, float it down. Where are your arms? Feel them in space. Let's do it again. Inhale. And exhale. Relax your shoulders. Let your right ear drop down. Right down to your right shoulder. Walk your left hand a little bit away. And then let's lift the head to center, slide the hand back close to you, and take another breath. Let's exhale the left ear towards the left shoulder. We'll walk the right hand away. Soften your clenching jaw if you're a clencher like me. And then we'll lift the head to center, slide the hand back. Let's close our eyes just for a moment and put a big smile on your face. I imagine it's a big fake smile at this point. Put that big fake smile on your face. Maybe it's a real one. Maybe you can make a real smile here. Something you're happy about, thinking about. And put that smile at your heart center. So it's on your face. Now you're going to transfer it to your heart and feel that smile in your heart center. That's the inner smile. We're going to try to keep that all day long, that inner smile. Imagine your heart smiling to everyone you meet today, everyone that you see on the street or in a store or going about your business, that inner smile, whether they smile back or not. But cultivate what that feels like in your body, not just an awareness, a seeing, but a feeling. And let that smile not only radiate outward, but also inward to yourself. Recognize your worth, that you are enough of everything that you are, that you can rest in this moment with that big smile. And then let's open our eyes and let's come to our backs. So come to your back any way you want to. And let's pick up our feet and we're going to circle our knees around. I've got my hands not stuffed up next to my body, but just a little further out from my body. So I have a little bit of support here. I don't feel like I'm going to tip. And then the other way. And then we're going to come back to the center. Change the position of your legs to more of a 90-degree angle. Glue your knees and your feet together. Let your arms come out just a tad bit further and turn your palms down. And then we're going to let the knees travel just part way to the left, part way where you can hold without shaking. So you just come to a comfortable place where you feel your oblique abdominals, those abdominals that are on the side of your body. They're starting to engage to hold your legs up. And so we're going to say hi to them and breathe. And then we'll bring the knees through the middle. We've got our knees and feet glued together. And over we go towards the right side. I do not want to induce any suffering here to myself or others. So I'm stopping before I feel like it's super hard. I feel like I'm just engaged enough to strengthen my torso. And then let's come back to the middle. Let's put our feet on the floor and let's bring our hands next to us now. We'll do bridge pose just to move into the back core a little bit. So our eyes are on the ceiling. We're going to inhale the hips up. And today, let's just hold the hips up. We want to make sure we've got that little space underneath our neck. We haven't flattened our neck out on the floor. We've got our inner thighs engaged, and I could feel the backside of my body working. Getting stronger. Feel that flow of breath. This is such a nice place to recognize the breath moving through your body. I'm going to slowly roll down. We'll exhale our way to the floor. Feel each part of your back touch down. Feel all those muscles in your back and your legs releasing. And then we're going to pick our feet up again. We're going to slide our arms out to T, this time palms up. And let's release our knees to the left as you turn your head to the right. So now those little hardworking muscles get to relax. And let's bring the right knee through the middle, left knee trailing all the way over to the right, turning your head to look to the left if that feels good to you. Shoulders are melting onto the floor. Let's draw the knees back in through the middle, and we're going to hug both of them into our chest, little rock. Stretch the back side of the body here, Apanasana, knee to chest pose. And then because I believe that it always feels good to get our feet up in the air, especially if they do not feel good, let's straighten our legs up. This is a nice posture. As you know, I call this pretend legs up the wall pose. It's really kind of like a half shoulder stand position, a modified half shoulder stand position. I used to do it in the studio with my hips on a block. That's an option. I also like it up against the wall. And the only reason I'm not doing this is because I don't have a solid wall here. I have books behind there and it gets all squishy and floppy. So if you have a solid wall, you get your hips right up next to the wall, sitting sideways next to the wall, and then rotate so you can get your hips as close to the wall as possible. So your buttocks is really resting on the wall possible, and then legs up the wall. And then you can really rest. But for now, we pretend, and we still have that feeling of lightness in the feet. a different flow of energy and a different flow of the circulation stays the same, but it becomes easier for the blood to recirculate to your heart. Excuse me, when your legs are up. And we're going to take about 3 more breaths here. I found this on the web. And then one foot comes down and then the other. And we'll make our way into relaxation from here. So wherever you are moved to move, let yourself go there now. Try to turn your palms up wherever you land. You've got choices as always: constructive rest pose, knees dropping together, feet wide, or shavasana, or on your side, or even sitting up. If you do sit up for relaxation, sit up with your back against a wall so you can really relax, so you can let go. And wherever you are, let's commit to letting go, to softening the body so much that you hardly feel like you're inside a body anymore. You've let all of the tight spots release, all of the edges becoming a little bit blurred. And then letting your breath become very still and quiet. Notice what it's like to be still and to be quiet. And then let's begin to deepen the breath. And let our body become free again. Movements in the fingers, the toes, letting your head turn. And then bending your knee one at a time. One knee, then the other knee. And we'll roll to the right side. So coming into fetal position on your right side. And just take a moment here and do notice what you can do in your practice. You can become quiet and you can become calm and you can feel energy moving through your body. And just that short time we spend together. It's possible. Let's invite gratitude into our hearts. We already have that smile there. So let's invite gratitude into the heart, into your mind, into your body. You have this fantastic body that is miraculous, full of miracles happening every millisecond. It's ridiculously crazy how miraculous this is. And this breath that knows what to do, where to go, what to get rid of. And it brings in all of that prana and that energy, that life force that animates us. It connects us to each other, to everything that ever has been and everything that ever will be. And then this practice, which brings us all of these realizations and down to the simplest level, just keeps us moving, keeps us being able to back our car out of the driveway, right? Turn your head and look over your shoulder. And way, way more than that. So in gratitude for all of that. And then when you're ready, pushing yourself up using your hands. Let's bring our hands together in front of the heart as we close our practice together. Find your way to your breath again. And here, honor yourself for who you are, just as you are, just as you were intended to be. We honor each other in that same way. We honor all people and all the creatures of the earth. We honor this earth and feel gratitude for the many gifts that we enjoy in abundance every day. We feel our connection to each other, to all people, to all beings, and to all things on earth. And let's share our voices in the sound of our practice, in the sound of Om, taking a deep breath together. Oh. May peace, joy, love, compassion, and gratitude fill your heart today and every day to overflowing. Namaste. And thank you for spending your Saturday morning or part of it with me. Let's choose a card from, this is such a happy little deck here, the Juicy Living card. Oh, that one snuck in. That's from another deck. Where'd that come from? Okay, but I'm supposed to read that one later, I bet. The universe sent that one right to me. Okay, here we go. Permission for, and that's where you fill in your blank, your name in that blank, to stop doing just for now. So Permission for Denise, permission for Colleen, permission for Joyce, whatever your name is, goes in there. Stop doing. Okay, that's permission. And then on the back of it says, let all the doings of the day float by. Stop doing just for right now. And then in these little clouds, it says, all the things you got on your mind. She's got all this stuff on her mind. I'm going to read these little clouds. She's like, I got to make more money. I got to do the laundry. I got to hurry up. I got to pay my bills. I got to lose weight. Those are all the things she's saying to herself. But this card is telling her, you, to let all the doings of the day float by and stop doing just for now. I love these cards. I love, 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 love these cards. All right, let's all do that for a little while today. 5 minutes. Start small. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. I will be here on Monday.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much,
Thank
Leslie.
you.
Lovely